Hey traders, Parker here. With just a look at the market and see really the catastrophe it has been. So if you're looking at my chart right now, you can see I'm using my buy sell pressure candles indicator, and I'm using the signals indicator as well. And I'm have the seasonality indicator as well on here, and I have the RRG sector rotation indicator on here as well. So what I'm going to do is just zoom in so we can see the RRG indicator, and right now it's showing everything that's going on in the market. So I'm going to hide the top graph, and we're going to look at this bottom graph right here. And this represents everything that's going on in the market and sectors. I'm going to cut on the extra part of this indicator as well, which will show additional ETLs. I'm going to cut those on, and I'm going to extend my chart out to about 30 bars, and that should give me those additional ETLs. And we can see those additional ETLs up there as well. So, did it not do it? No, it didn't do it. So, there you go. It popped up. Okay. So now we have our additional ETLs down here. All these ETLs represents everything that's going on in the market. This first one is the S&P 500, the futures, the Nasdaq futures, the Dow futures, and the Russell, I think 2000 futures as well. And you can see they're all below zero. That's what this indicator does. It's an indication of what's going on within those percent change according to. I have it locked on to this anchor for the year. So this is what the percent change looks like for the year for each one of these different sectors. And you can see all the different sectors or the ETFs down here as well. So we can see right here, XLB is up 7.45%. You can see the same thing here in the label as well. So, and this is just reflected for these different bars right here. And you can see the crude oil is way up as well. The VIX is way up as well. And IGV is the what is that? The software ETF, and you can see it's all the way down as well. So we get into the labels, you can see where it's anchored. You can see the ES and Nasdaq, so on and so forth. The best one, these labels are sorted by these numbers from 0 to 10. 10 being really 11 for the 11th sector. So XLE is winning and it's leading the S&P 500. You can see where it's a leading, lagging, and I believe improving as well. So if it's leading, it means it's greater than S&P 500. If it's lagging, it's below the S&P 500. If it's improving, it's below the S&P 500, but it's moving up. Well, not necessarily, because XLRE is above S&P 500. It's only down 0.82%, while the S&P 500 is down. The benchmark is down 7.3%. And you can see by these white labels right here, each one of these numbers. So you have XLF coming in at 0, and you can see down here, where is it? XLF right here coming in at 0. It's the lowest one. Has the lowest percent change for the year for the sectors. And you can see what's next, XLY, and then you can see why all these are different lagging. So you can see the top ones, and here's the greatest. XLE is the leader of all the sectors. The laggers, XLF, the top ones, the weak ones, and we have a risk off rating as well. And then you have the percent change for Bitcoin for the year. Gold is up 4.18%. You got the TLT is I think it's a 10-year Treasury. This is crude oil. So this is a crude oil, Brent crude oil, and that represents right here. It's up 76.24%. This is the dollar UUP, and then the VIX is up 109% for the year. XLRT, I think that's the transportation, housing. I can't think of what these are right now, but I'm sorry. I just late, and I was still working on this thing, and we're still programming. But I just wanted to show you this indicator and go over a couple of things in the market. So I'm gonna put the top graph back on, and we're gonna be looking at this on a seasonality basis and where it is. These different ETFs are in the within their 52-week high and 52-week low. And that's where we're getting it right here with these seasonality. This is the new improved seasonality indicator. I promised a buyer that I told him I was updating, and this is the actual update for the indicator. I created one indicator for you already. If you're watching this video, where you can move the labels around top, left, right. This is the seasonality. You can do the current time frame. You can change the look back, the length of the lines. That's basically the lines going forward. The shadows for the Fibonacci levels going forward. These right here. But you can see the S&P 500 or the futures for the S&P 500. It has a 52-week high of 70.43 and a 52-week low of 40.82, 832, and it's at 70% of its range, so it's on the high side right now. But you can see where we're dropping off. It's really going through any of these support areas that I had marked out, really from October, October, no, November, and right now we're looking to come back down here, in my opinion, to possibly test 61.66. So I'm gonna remove the drawing so we can see things a little more clear, and you can see this orange, this pink, this wrapped around this candle just represents a volatility candle, which when ATR, average true range, is above 2. I think I have it set at 2 deviations or 1.5 deviations. Well, it should be 2 for this to happen. Then the other things is under. And these are clouds that represent move averages. I think the move average that I'm using is 21, 42, 63, and 89. I think it is. And that's just a variation of move averages that I like to use, and they're simple. And you see, this is what the S&P 500 is doing. I removed those drawings. I'm going to put them back on, and we're going to go to the NASDAQ/NQ. And you can see for the seasonality, it's seasonality. I should have did that /ES. For the seasonality for the futures on the S&P 500, I think I got it set for 10 years. So over a 10-year basis, February and March has been weak. Yeah, my mouse is about to die. February and March is usually weak. April, it comes in strong. And we can see where the expected move for the S&P was this cyan line that's going through. And this is March, so it's expected to be down only 0.22% from its open. But you can see we're way down from there. And that's where we get the month to date. This is what we've done, and this is what was expected right here. So now we're going to go to the NQ, the NASDAQ futures. So right now, month to date, we're down 5.79%. We're only expected to be down 0.59%. And here's our open right here, and here's our cyan line down here. Up here. And March is usually a stronger, 60% of the time, it's up 0.59% up for the last 10 years. But we can see with the market conditions and the global and political disruption, it's down. Really, a lot of it stuff due to the war in Iran and due to some of these other geopolitical issues as well. But right now, it broke through this previous 52-week high back here, and right now expecting it to possibly bounce here at 22,803.47, and it possibly come down a little further. But these are Fibonacci levels. I already breached those. And this other orange line in here represents a price channel. This price channel is according to 52 weeks. And this is our midline for it. So we're going to go over to the Dow YM. And just waiting for it to load up. And usually March is a better year for the Dow futures, but we can see that it's down as well. Here's our open. Well, it actually shifted once all the data came in. So usually over the 10 years, it's been down 50% of the time, 0.84%. That was an expected move from the seasonality, and we can see we're down 6.48% month to date. So from this month to date, we're down 6.48%. Yeah, 6.48%. I don't have any levels on here, huh? So I will actually shift this over to the weekly chart to get those levels. This is doing this just because the the first date on the weekly chart is the 5th. I just had to go change that to the 5th. But one of the things we could do is just put our Fibonacci levels on here and at least go down here, which is already done because this indicator already does that. And this matches our 52-week high and 52-week low. And right now on our 52-week high and 52-week low, we're hitting our 61.8 Fibonacci level right here. But I don't see. This was the first support that I saw right here, and it looks like we're breaching through that. And so we could possibly come back down here somewhere within this 52-week, not 52-week, but 50% range on our indicator for our 52-week high and low. So we're going to go to, what is it, RTY, slash RTY, and I thought I had labels. I do have levels on here, so, but I don't have any current levels, so I would have marked that one, and possibly here. It didn't look like a strong push, but for the most part, we're looking at here. It's holding up better than the S&P 500. Let me take it back down to the daily. So on an RTY, the Russell 2000 futures, we're only down 1.81%, while the futures down 7.3%. So it's holding up better than the S&P 500. And we can see how we got these twists in our clouds as well. And so it's probably headed for a downturn too, possibly here, and with I say brief support right here. Let me zoom out a little bit. So brief support right here, where this double bottom is, 1, 2. So what is this? Yeah, earlier this month, so on the 6th, and then bottom again on the 23rd, and found buyers in this area. That's what this bright green right here represents. On this candle is bright green. The difference between buyers and sellers is above 1 deviation or possibly 2 with this bright green right here. But this one was not. This is just but they're both volatility candles. So you got buyers, possible buyers in this area. And then we could just go through those different sectors as well. So let's go to XLB. And I'm going to, we'll leave this on. So XLB is up 7.45%, and it's still considered leading. Even though it had this pullback right here, it's pushing back above. Our short-term move averages have twisted to negative, but our long-term move averages, which is the green and red, is still green. But it really just came down for its 52-week high and low. It came down to 61.8 fib right here. This is this green area, and it's pushing back above. So that would be, let's see. And now we're going to go to XLE. Just waiting for the data to come in. So on March, it had an expected move of 3.71%, 66% of the time over the last 10 years. And you can see here's our open, here's our expected move for seasonality, and here's where we are. So month to date we're up 8.29% versus expected 3.71% for seasonality. And for the year, we're up 39.89%, and we're still considered leading. So I would be looking for stocks, according to the energy, in the energy sector. Even though it says next month's typically a weaker month for for the energy. So, but with the geopolitical issues, and then all these data center build outs, and then the situation with oil, what else? Solar panels, all these different things. So people look for alternative energy sources. So this would be one of the sectors I would be scanning in to find different stocks that are pushing above. These are some of the ones I found with my Precision Range Pro scanner, and these are on a weekly. So if you want to look at any of these stocks right here, they're up on a day in 1 point. So this how has the greatest one. It's saying it's closes above the range. So we'll look at that one real quick. And it's pushing up, and it's a breakout. So do I have it on here? Yep. So we'll move the seasonality down. We'll push the actual range up, and we will put that on there. Here's a breakout on the daily, and then we push it to the weekly. There's your breakout on the weekly with the precision range indicator as well. And for the weekly, I'm using a period of 13. Then I multiply by 2 to get this second period, and then 3, and then 4. And that's how I'm using my move averages from there. But it was Halliburton Company. What is it that they do? Halliburton. Their energy, they're probably an oil company as well. So we will go to analyze. There we go. Provides products, services, energy in the worldwide. So that's Halliburton. We're gonna go to the next one. Let's see. Let me push back down to day period. Let's see. So we're gonna go to XLF. XLF is the worst one. It's down 12.8% from its for this year. So the year started out here, and the financials have been straight down, and they're actually breaching this gap that they had back here, which I already feel. So it really doesn't matter. So right now, financials just headed down. Forgive me for yawning. I'm decided to do the video, even though it was late. I was still working on this thing down here. But you can see where it breached this, and it's breaching it again. And financials is just basically going down. And basically with our precision range indicator, you had another breakdown here on this candle. That's why this one's highlighted yellow. And you can see where it's just been trading down, right? Try to get back into the range on this candle. Got rejected, and a big volume and pushed down on our volume pressure candles. Buy sell pressure candles right here. This bright red just showing you there's a big difference between buyers and sellers volume wise, and it was probably above 2 deviations, and we're just been going down from there. But we got a triangle here which is telling us that this is a wide range candle between the range between the high and low, but it's on low volume. So just be on the lookout for that. But the other indicator that we got right here as well is this arrow saying that this moved down. The close crossed below the low on greater than average volume. So that's another indicator that this is, it's just down. But we can go to the next one is XLI. And we can see with our precision range indicator, you can see where this was the breakdown indicator candle right here. You can see where we tried to push back into the range, came back down, and really just turned back around, and we're headed lower, possibly to this previous range higher low right here, the previous low range low right here. So that'll be, where's that? Yeah, this candle right here, these set of candles right here, where it had a previous breakout above the move averages and its big push up. We can look at it on a weekly as well, and we can see that on the weekly it's headed to the 21.4 fib level here, and its previous range high as well, coming from there. So we'll mark this out. So this may be an area of interest right here from our previous 52-week high. So we'll take it back down to the daily. So that's where I will expect it to come down to. So next one is going to be XLK. XLK. I know I should have this one marked up. XLK kind of looks just like Nvidia. If we go to a chart of Nvidia, we can see that it's just been trading within this range. So we can look at right here. This is the candle that breached our range. Our range was consistent of this 52-week high and this low right here where it actually bounced up. And we can take this to a weekly time chart as well. And this is what we're looking at on the XLK with our precision range indicator. So this would be our 61.8 fib. We have our previous range high right here, and we have our 52-week midpoint as well, right here as well. So XLK, man, that's, let's say, it could come back down to 120. Right now we're 129. So yeah. Let me put my drawings back on, and we can go look at NVIDIA, and it pretty much looks the same, except for NVIDIA dropped out of its range here, and you can see there's pretty much been doing the same thing. We can push this up to a weekly, and this is the range I have for the for NVIDIA. With the precision range indicator, you can see there's possibly has support at 165. This is one of the areas of interest where I was thinking about possibly entering into NVIDIA if it comes back down into this area. That's why I have my alert set right there. So next one, let's see. XLP is considered improving. XLP is considered improving. No, it's leading. It's up 5.24%, and it's considered leading as compared to the S&P 500 being down negative 7.3%. You see where we had this big breakout right here, but we actually moved below our range indicator. We almost came back to this previous range high right here on the daily, and we can see for the weekly it actually did come back down, but you can see it breached this previous range high right here, and now we're possibly trying to push back above here, but probably going to be faced rejection somewhere in this area for XLP, at least in my opinion. So we're going to go to the, let's see, what's next? XLU. This is the utilities, and on a daily, our short-term move averages have stayed bullish, and our long-term has just turned bullish as well. And I would look for, this is a previous, let's go to the weekly chart first. Mark out that high, and there's your support right there. So probably trade within this range here. And you see on the weekly, we had a big volume bar right here on the weekly, or difference between buying and selling. So these buy and sell pressure candles are different from our original indicator. You don't have all those different colors and stuff showing up in them. And if I were to remove the signals indicator, you can see the candles a lot better. But they're just giving you different signals. But you don't have all those different colors just flying through that you had on my previous buy-sell pressure indicator. And that's one thing I am proud of this one, because it gives you more information. You can see where there's not a great difference between buying and selling, but here it was. But these other candles it wasn't. You can see from there. But we're trying to push above XLU. I'm expecting it possibly 43 to 46. Stay within that range right there. Next one's XLV. XLV was doing good, especially I want to say for the beginning of the year. So we look right here, XLV was doing good, especially in October, but it's actually breached down and it's pushing down below as well. Excuse me. It had it broke through our precision range indicator there, and if we put it on a weekly, excuse me, put on a weekly, this is what we're looking at right here. So we had what is that? Probably a double top. You could say that 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna just say a double top right there. Came down and it's probably 140. It's probably where it's coming from or coming down to. Let's say I don't see a lot of support here, especially after that gap down below. So yeah. So that's XLV, XLY, XLY. Precision range indicator. Here's your breach right here. Try to push back above here. This two arrows just represents it was even buying and selling on this candle right here, and then you can see right there we really just fell out of the precision range indicator. We can take it up to, this is a buying pressure. When you get the cyan color like this, buying pressure was above three deviations, but it still wasn't able to hold or wasn't able to go anywhere from there because you immediately got selling pressure that came down from there. This little blue line with the move averages represents 50% of the actual move average, the main move average, and on a day, so that should be 10-day move average right there. I was looking for a yellow one. So here's a yellow one where selling was, the difference between buying and selling was greater than 3 deviations. That's why you got this yellow one. And the same situation here, buying was above 3 deviations on that candle. And that's when you just seen where it traded within this range and then it finally broke out. So we're going to go to XLC as our communications. XLC. You see where it just completely fell out of bed. It did try and use the range here when it was created, but you can see right here, try to get back into that range and then just basically collapse from there. We can go to the weekly, and it's collapsing on the weekly as well because it was stated within this tight range on XLC. So it had a tight range since September. Just trade within this range on the weekly, and then it finally breached it below. So most likely it probably try this 52-week high right here. Previous 52-week high right there and right here. I don't see it going back down here unless something crazy happens. But it's probably going to trade within this range. And that's pretty much going to be all the ETFs there. Bitcoin, we're going to just look at Bitcoin, BTC. Bitcoin's been trading within this range here ever since it finally made this pivot right here. So, but it's actually coming back down now, but we can look at it on a weekly as well. It's below, it actually breached below our precision range indicator here on the 2nd of March. It tried to push back into this previous support area and got rejected. It's using this range from this candle to this candle as your range, and you can see where it breached down below, and it actually hit my 100. Well, I already had that field right there, but we're on a weekly chart. We could look at these previous 52-week highs and lows, and that's why I was expecting Bitcoin to turn around, and it actually did hit there. and you can see where we came in and buying pressure was greater than selling pressure on this candle because this little white dash is above the 50% was just of the candle is this black dash right there. And then you had some candles where buying and selling was equal. That's where you get these two arrows just pointing to the middle where buying and selling pressure was equal on these two weekly candles right here. And I take the precision range indicator off, and we can push the seasonality back up. And for Bitcoin, March was a March was a good month for Bitcoin, 10-year day. It's usually up for the last 10 years. It actually did hit its mark. So for the last 10 years, 70% of the time it's been up 6.5%. And from its open, here's our open here, and here is 6.5%. But right now, we're month to date, we're only up 1.18% for the month of March, and versus our expected 6.5%, which we did go up to. So, what else? That's pretty much going to be the end of this video. I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to what I had to say. If you're interested in any of these indicators that I debuted on here, just visit my shop and you should be able to find them there. I wish you guys the best. God bless, and stay safe out there.